Hello and welcome to Come Home with Jen Mallan. Obviously, I'm not Jen Mallan. I am Rob Mallan, her husband, and it's great to have you on the show. You're going to be so informed, you're going to be so educated, you're going to be so blessed by the speakers that we have here today. I really believe this is a divine moment for you to hear what the Lord has to say to you through these gentlemen. It's great to have Robert Ilatov with us. He is worked with the Knesset. Has been an advisor to Benjamin Netanyahu. He travels around the world sharing what's going on in Israel. And then we have Reverend Kevin Jessip, who works with the Return Project, and Jonathan Kahn, which, guys, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show. What powerhouse material we have here today. It's going to be a great, great show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us here.
Yes, thank you.
It's a great honor.
Yes, sir. I want to jump right in, and because of lack of time, I just want to get right to it. You know, let's talk about what's going on in Israel right now. What's the real deal with judicial reform, and also what's going on with Israel's national security? I know there's so many eyes on Israel and America right now. What's going on and the climate, and people want to know what can we do? How do we pray? What's going on?
Thank you for the questions. First of all, about jurisdiction reform. This is very important for people of Israel because the point of jurisdiction reform is the committee that appoint the judges in Israel. This is the committee with 9 members, where coalition have always the minority only with 3 members. So right wing or left wing, it doesn't matter. They don't have the majority in this committee. So there is no will of the people of Israel who they want to see as the judges of Israel. So the reform speaking about changing in this committee. This is the most important thing of all this reform. We understand that all world see and people saying what will be with democracy and what will be with Israel. It will be okay with democracy, and it will be the will of people of Israel. This is the important thing what we have to say. As a right-wing coalition, we have to be very clear and understandable that who was appointed by the people in the parliament, they have the right to appoint the judges. So there is no problem if left wing will win the next elections or other elections. They can do the same things. This is the law.
So at the end of the day, the people still have control.
So it's very important to explain that this reform is for the people of Israel. Israel is the system of governance in Israel. It's a parliamentarian coalition system, and parliament, Knesset, decided who will be the prime minister, who will be the minister, and who will be the president of the state. So there is no problem that parliament will decide who will be the judges of the state.
Now, how will this impact the people in terms of when they finally have the power to vote? How does this impact them when their voting power is used correctly, or if they're able to actually vote in who they want?
This is what the right wing want to give to the people, the power to decide who will be manage the state, who will be the judges, and who will be the president.
So basically, it gives the people access where now the government's saying, "Hey, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that."
Of course, in Knesset you have factions that represent all the people of Israel. There is Arabs, there is Jews, there is left wing, there is right wing, there is capitalists, there is communists. Everybody represents in the Knesset. So the Knesset have the power to decide who will be the judge, and the judges have to be the part of the people of Israel, not some group of the people who will decide by themselves who will be a judge.
It's very similar to what we're experiencing here in America today. Same kind of situation.
So this is the reason why right-wing decided to do. More than 4 decades, right-wing win election after election, and they can appoint their judges. It's unbelievable situation.
Now, how does this, I want to jump into the national security. In terms of national security, I know when people have voting rights, how does this impact national security by having the right people in and having people with the right mindset, or not really?
Everything in Israel influence to the people and to the political system, because Israel is a very small country at the end. We are talking about Israel, about the Bible, about the history, about all the things, and think that Israel is big as the United States or China. No, Israel is a very small country. So everything what's happening in Israel influence to the parliament, to the Knesset, and from the Knesset to the people. It's and we feel it every day. We feel it in the streets. We feel it in the work. We feel it with the all economic situation. We feel it with all the defense issues. Everything, always, the people feel everything every day in every moment.
They're just at flight or fight almost.
It's not like if in Florida you have very so boring days and you have to go to the Gulf. In Israel, it's a very active life every day, and we feel all step that government do, we feel it.
With attention. Yes, sir.
So we're really facing a world today where we're looking at, I call it blue, red, and green. We're looking at the globalist agenda, which are unelected technocrats that are partnering with businesses and governments, telling the people what to do and how we're going to have to receive that. Then we have communism, and we see the reach of the Communist Chinese Party all around the world.
Yeah.
And then we have Islam, which now is surrounding Israel. And so Israel has many enemies, but I wanted Robert to specifically talk about maybe the Palestinian issue and the rockets that are on the border in Lebanon, and the Iranian issue, because the Iranian issue is not just an Israeli problem, it's an American problem. It's a global problem. And I'd love for you to speak into those two issues.
If we see the issues of the Israeli defense situation and what's happening with our enemies around us, we can explain it with 3 points. One point, it is BDS movement that trying to boycott Israel, to de-investment in Israel, and sanctions against Israel. The second is terror. And the third, not less, even maybe the third issue is Iran. When we speaking about Iran, we can understand that it's easily to understand what they are meaning. They are declaring what they want to do, and they acting in this field. We see them not only against Israel, we see them everywhere. We see them in the Middle East, we see them in Iraq, Syria. They're involved in all the revolt of Syria, and they killed all the people who was in opposition. Of course, we know what that. But after they finished it, why they didn't leave Syria? Yeah, they going with the weapon to the Syria. They're trying to establish their power there. They financing Hezbollah with 150,000 rockets. And when you see the conflict, Russian-Ukraine conflict, and you see which damage can do 100 missiles. So imagine that you have 150,000 missiles. Wow. And what damage they can do, then they targeting the Israeli cities. They don't targeting some army position.
Innocent people.
It's
women, children, schools.
Of course.
It's ridiculous.
So we see that Iran today, the biggest exporter of terror in the world, the biggest one. They export terror in the Middle East, in Europe, everywhere.
Here in America.
Even in America. So this is the biggest problem, and this is not the biggest problem only to Israel. This is the biggest problem for all the free world, because their missiles will get Europe. And we know from the history that what's happening and what started with Jews, it's never ending with
That's
the
right.
Jews. So their ideology is to cancel Israel. This is the same ideology as Nazi Germany.
That's right.
The same one.
That's right.
So when we see boycott and the investment and the sanctions against it, the BDS movement, what's working in the United States freely, we understand that they are wanting to do the same things that Nazi Germany did in their laws in 1935. They boycott Jews, and this boycott goes to killing Jews. Very simple. Very, very simple. They boycott and terror their own Jewish population.
That's right.
So what we see now, this is the same things of the Nazis' ideology, but it's converted to some other product. But this is the same. One of this group, BDS movement, want to cancel Israel and to destroy Israel. Terror organization want to cancel and to destroy Israel. And Iran want to, this is the same thing. But as I said, what started with Jews will never end
That's right.
with Jews.
This continues.
So it's continuing to the world. And when we see the rise that Ayatollahs sponsored all over the world against Israel, we see our flags in United States flags burning them. And they call us small Satan and the United States big Satan.
That's right.
So it's not only we. This is the Judeo-Christian values on the table. This is the Bible on the table. This is our way of thinking, our ideology, our roots. All what we are representing, Jews and Christians and people who live and believe in one God.
That's right.
That's all.
That's right.
This is the only thing that they want to cancel. It's not only Israel.
We are seeing a global anti-God movement from the globalists, from the CCP, and from Islam to crush the God and get him out of their way. And so we're not only fighting a military war, we're fighting an ideological war, an economic war,
Spiritual
a war of values, a spiritual war, a cyber warfare. We have 19 different wars going on at the same time. And as we know, our warfare is not carnal.
That's right.
We're fighting a spiritual warfare. So we need to armor up, eyes up, armor on, and be ready